The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the Morning Crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Okay, this is one of those Thursdays you stay here all day. I mean, hopefully you stay here from 6:03 till 10 a.m. We appreciate you, but we get it. The boss, we've had people hiding behind boxes to do Clash with Kenzie yesterday, to hide from the boss when things go on and you got to do all these things. So we get it. You got to pop away and come back sometimes, but here's what we got today. Ticket Blitz Thursday will be picnic tickets in the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. Look at 8:20 and 9:20. 7:10. We have Clash with Kenzie and Incubus tickets, or I'm sorry, picnic, but you'll meet Incubus.
Ew.
We have Dave Chappelle tickets at 8 for the United Center.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We have Nate Bargatze tickets that we're going to do before the end of this hour. So right before we do sports, we will throw those out there to get our early people taken care of.
So
within
the 650-ish zone.
let's say 6:55 maybe in that area,
Okay,
because
okay, very fair.
that's Kenzie's favorite guy, favorite comic.
It is.
And
so,
he's already selling out the Chicago Theater, adding shows, so we will have that for you. And if that's not enough, at 9, the Aftershock Festival, if you like that heavy music and you're into it, we'll have a chance to go see Queens of the Stone Age there. Really, every hour and about every half
Lord.
hour. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Stay on your phone.
I'm just going to go home because we're just doing giveaways.
Well, also,
Why did I come?
You're going to be, well, you came because you're the one that's got to correct everybody from doing the wrong things on the text line and everything whenever it comes through.
That's true.
That's your job today?
That's it. I'm just going to text people back with, that's the wrong word.
Yep. Kenzie also delayed coming in like a lot of you right now on the Kennedy because they shifted the lanes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's bad right now still.
Just from, so that first express lane exit is where it really started, because I come all the way from Elgin. That's where it started.
Yeah.
It took me over 45 minutes to get from there to the NBC Tower.
Oh, my
Is that insane?
That's a little brutal. It always is wild when they're doing a long-term construction project. And our people out there that do this can maybe chime in and help us out with it. That they get done with some lanes and they look great. And then they open up the other lanes they got to work on, or they close those down. I feel like by the time they're done, they got to fix the other ones. The ones they just fixed.
Oh my God. It's such a joke. And it was funny because people are just furious because, mind you, you expect it. It's never enjoyable, but you expect it at a certain time in the morning. I was already at a standstill at 4:45 in the morning. Where are you going? I know you don't all have a morning show. There's only so many. I can list all of them. And I was so frustrated. And it was hilarious because the signs were like 30 more minutes till the Ohio exit. And then the next slide was, please control your anger. That's what it said.
Oh my God.
It said that on the sign. And honestly, it was funny that it said that because I wanted to light the sign on fire just for saying that to me.
Kenzie was texting some vile things to us about her being late in the situation. We talked her through it. We got her here, and it's okay.
Well, I put my car in park, so I was able to text. It was unbelievable.
Did you see the billboard, though?
Nope.
Oh, damn it. So the billboard is right there on the Kennedy inbound at Belmont. All that. And you didn't see our billboard that turns up every about 7 minutes on that digital board?
Well, clearly that's a lie, because think about how long it took me to come in.
Holy
Didn't
crap.
see it.
If you're stuck on it right now, just take a look. Is it right side or left side if you're coming inbound?
It's the right side.
Okay. Because I miss that exit the way I go all the time. I never get to past Belmont.
The main ad that plays on it is not ours. It's a big purple Xfinity one. So if you see that billboard inbound on the Kennedy right before the Belmont exit, just keep an eye on it because it's supposed to eventually be our faces.
Did you sign up for Xfinity because the board came up?
I did. It's a great deal.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, we've talked about all the amazing giveaways we have for you today. A lot of great free stuff, and they will blow your mind. But.
What?
Why isn't this working? Oh, someone did something in my room here. There we go. Coming up with a fact that blows your mind. It's going to be several about how to stay cool that you may never have thought of. These are unique things that will help you stay cool in today, because today I believe is going to be the hottest one. I know every day is 90. Tomorrow's going to be still 94, 95, something like that. But really, feels like about 110.
Oh, it's a pool day.
Oh, yeah? Not a pond day?
This is a pool. No. I told you cannot swim in that pond.
So Kenzie up in Elgin there, they have a pond in their neighborhood, but then you have a community pool.
Yeah, it's like the neighborhood, like a neighborhood pool.
That sounds so cool.
It's awesome.
I mean,
Because it's really cute because it's really built for families. So there's like a mini little water slide. There's a splash pad. It's cute.
yeah, because people pay their HOAs on these suburban complexes. And a lot of
yeah.
times, if you don't have that, like, what are you paying for? Maybe someone to come cut your grass or like to make sure everybody doesn't put up like a flag in their front yard.
Exactly. There should be something fun.
Yeah. But having a pool, that's worth, I guess, a little bit of an HOA fee.
Oh, yeah.
I think
it's
so.
It's so worth it. And then you don't have to clean it or anything.
Oh,
Right?
that's the dream.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So we have more facts to stay warm if you don't have a pool in your neighborhood like Kenzie does.
I'm excited.
Coming
I
up
don't need your facts.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, time for a facts, or actually facts that make your brain go boom. And it's about the heat today. Some hacks you may not be aware of to help you out. And I'll tell you one thing. I lived in Phoenix for about a year and a half when I was exiled from Chicago in radio. That's a long story we won't get into, but had to move out to Phoenix for a little while and kind of just lay low. And it got to 118 there one time when I was there. And I burned my hand on my steering wheel of the car. People said you put those things under your windshield, those things.
Yes.
And I was like, that looks stupid. I go, I'm not doing that. And I did that. I burned my hand and go to the hospital. I had a second-degree burn on my hand from the steering wheel of my car.
Oh, Brian.
I
You
know.
don't listen to anybody's advice.
I thought I was right.
It's hilarious. People who've lived in Phoenix, born and raised, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm an expert.
They all did it. They had the little SpongeBob ones or like Looney Tunes or whatever. I'm not doing that on my car. The SpongeBob one looked pretty good, I got to say. So these are some things that you may not do today or want to do today that help you stay cool, and you might not be aware of it. Some of these kind of blew my mind. Did you know that you should put your suntan lotion in the fridge? If you do that, it will
that
help.
would feel good.
Yeah, it helps you feel good, and it will also help your body cool down better when you're going out in the sun because you're having suntan lotion. Just never thought of that. Never putting suntan lotion in the fridge. You can do that. It's safe, and it will still work. If you're wearing sandals and you have to take them off, put them face down. That way when you put them back on, your feet won't burn. They'll be cool. I'm not a sandals guy, but, whatever.
That's good for everybody else.
Now, this one kind of got me. Put a large pot of cool water on the burner over your oven vent, and when the oven is on, that will help keep your kitchen cool.
Wait, say that again.
So,
what do you
a
do?
large pot of cool water on the burner over your oven vent. So on the burner, but wherever the oven vent is, the vent will blow on the cool. Even if you're cooking next to it, let's say something hot, and it will help keep the kitchen cool because the kitchen always gets super hot when you're cooking.
I know, but I am not making another pan dirty.
It's just water. You just wipe it down and move it.
It's still, okay, when you have that many dishes to clean up, it's like, let's dump this out and dry it and put it away. That's not happening.
It's one paper towel. It's one wipe. You'll be okay.
Is it?
Is it worth you staying cool?
No.
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
Forget that one. Okay, here's one that might really blow your mind. Buckle your seatbelt when you leave your car if it's going to be in the sun. Why do you think that is?
So the metal doesn't get hot?
Yes, that's always that. You have to grab that thing. Ow! But if you buckle the seatbelt when you leave, it'll be covered by the plastic there, and it won't burn your hand.
Are we out of sound effects? You just had to make your own? Do we?
Ow!
Ow!
And there's other ones. Those are the main ones I thought that kind of made me freak out a little bit. Maybe for an HVAC guy out there, you can help out. They also say if your air conditioning's, not cooling enough right now, it's because the filter's dirty. I don't know if people clean their filters that often. I don't know how
Even
you
in
do
your
it.
car?
No, in your car, it's a different story.
Okay.
I don't know. Go to stop by a gas station and ask them, is my filter dirty? I don't know.
I'm psychotic because in the morning, well, when you get up and there's not even sun out, right?
Right.
So I use heat in the morning and air on the way home still. So I use heat every day.
What?
I'm so cold. It's so chilly.
She's always cold.
It's chilly in the
If you
morning.
listen to the podcast yesterday, I brought an engineered burger to actually surprised her with 2 degrees warmer in the studio.
Okay, but we found out that it makes sense why I'm actually colder in the studio than you. So first off, it was at 66 degrees, which is that's pretty chilly, okay?
Fine by me.
So behind me are all of the vents, and there's 0 vents on your side of the room. 66 degrees. Well, the cold air is blowing on you. My hair literally moves sometimes.
It looks like a White Snake video at times.
Yeah, it does. And so it's a lot different than 66 and over there when it's not windy.
I feel a breeze over here still sometimes. But
Do
Patrick,
you a little drafty?
a little drafty, but Patrick Berger from Wisconsin said, yeah, the room was designed quite wrong. The vents are all over by the windows where Kenzie sits over there, and we can't really move the vents over here to get by Brian That's a Patrick Berger
And I go,
impersonation.
can you move the entire board by the windows so
That's what she
Brian can
wanted.
stand here?
She wanted to reconfigure the entire studio, so I will sit over by the windows. I'd gladly do that.
You scooch some wires.
Scooch over there.
Scooch some wires.
Just a few wires. No, we can't do
This
that.
table's got to flip.
No, the union get involved. I can't do that. I can't move over there.
I'm sure we could flip the table around that you're sitting at.
I don't think we could.
I bet we could.
I'd gladly do it to make you feel better. I would do that for you.
You're such a liar. You just know it's not possible, so you're saying that.
I clearly know it's impossible to do that. And there's some facts to stay cool today on one of the hottest days of the year and on Earth, let's say, pretty much the way it's been going. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We will have Incubus tickets 7:10. Get ready to get in for Clash with Kenzie. You'll meet Incubus. Picnic is Sunday, and Incubus is the headliner. Coming up after Incubus, what a tragic news story that broke yesterday about Sinead O'Connor, and we'll talk about that a little bit, play some things and some information you may not even know or remember about her.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, there's the Stained Incubus mashup you didn't know you needed, but we gave it to you today. Brian and
A little
Kenzie.
choppy. Choppy mashup. Brian's first.
I'll work on them. Get a little more beat matching going there. Brian and Kenzie on Q101 in case the producer joins us. Really, really sad news yesterday. It was announced that broke here on Q101 that Sinead O'Connor died. And really a tragic tale of her life. And the end, of course, how it happened here yesterday. Some of her music.
Through their own words, they will be exposed. They got a southern case of the emperor's new clothes. I went to the dark there.
And here's the hit.
Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you better try to help.
Kenzie dancing along this one from the Prince version of her being the biggest Prince fan ever.
I love Prince. My favorite artist all time.
Very weird things to find out when this all happens, and I kind of went on a wormhole. And I get it that there might be a lot of people out there that don't know who she is and don't even know that song and what it did because it's 30 years ago. And you follow her career in a situation of the impact of not just with the song, but her. As Kenzie remembers the Prince version of that song and playing it that way. And I found out yesterday that Prince, I forgot about this, of course, because I was young then, but that he was pissed off that song kicked ass when she did it, and it didn't become a big hit with him.
No, that became Sinead O'Connor's version was #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. That became the biggest song in the country for a few weeks, and Prince was an interesting guy who chose enemies very specifically, and if you were on his bad side, it was really bad, and Sinead O'Connor unfortunately fell onto his bad side.
Which is weird because I used to think you have to ask to do a cover, the artist or the record label, so someone gave her permission to do
Those
it.
different times.
Maybe not, yeah.
I back then, people totally did covers all the time without permission and
Well,
sampled stuff. The rules have changed.
Hip
a
hop.
lot.
Hip hop just basically stole everything the Beastie Boys did and used those drums and beats because it made some of the best.
That's why Diddy's rich. He didn't know anybody money for all of those samples.
I ain't paying anybody.
It's unbelievable the way he got grandfathered
I'll take that
in.
and that, and I have a hit.
I mean, a miracle. I reused the song and made so much money.
We'll play the whole song in a second because the power of that song that she did and basically sold 7 million copies, which sounds weird to say selling these days because everything is streamed. You don't even know how many, you don't talk about record sales that much anymore. But back then, that was viral. That was what you call taking over the world with that one song. And very sad she died at 56 yesterday. Her son took his own life a year ago at 17 years old, and she was already had a lot of mental health struggles. She was beat up by the media, beat up by the music community because she did one thing on Saturday Night Live 30 years ago to bring attention to the abuse in the Catholic Church. And she was singing a song on Saturday Night Live, and I'll play a little clip of it. At the end of the song, she rips up a picture of the Pope. And then she's singing Bob Marley's song War.
Yeah, she's doing a cover of War by Bob Marley and then
Yeah.
rips up a photo of Pope John Paul II.
And this set the world on fire. Talk about forgetting about a music moment, but just what she did. Whoops, that's not it. That's Pretty Happy.
That's Mandika.
Oh
that's
my
my favorite
God.
Sinead
Yeah.
O'Connor song.
And she was canceled. I was like, what?
No, cancel for this part on Saturday Night Live.
Necessary. We know we will win. We have confidence in the victory of good over evil. Fight the real enemy.
That's the first thing. She tore up a picture of the Pope, and it was on the news every night. I remember as a kid watching that. It was on all that, and that was, no one was talking about anything wrong in the Catholic Church at that time. And of course, now history's proven her correct of all this stuff that happened. And she got destroyed. She sold 7 million albums, and the record company dropped her for what she did because the backlash and all that.
This is going to sound weird.
Yep.
But imagine, okay, electronics were less available at that point in time.
Clearly.
And she'd asked somebody to print out a picture of the Pope before she went on stage.
So what it was is...
Who did it?
The photo of Pope John Paul II that she ripped up, it was a photo that was actually hanging on her mother's house. And for those that don't know, she was abused by her mother growing up. As a result, Sinead started to act out, so they sent her to a Catholic private school where she was abused even more.
God.
So the personal vendetta behind it is not only against the church, but it was also a shot at her mother.
And that
wow.
was her mom's picture?
Yes, her mom's photo, and her mom had died a few years earlier.
I was going to say, I can't believe somebody wasn't like, why?
Yeah, hey, Sinead,
You know?
we're out of color ink. Do you mind if this photo's black and white?
Right,
No,
now what
it's-
size? We don't have picture paper. You know what I mean? Like, those things weren't as common. I just go, would you go to Walgreens and pick it up, before the performance? Crazy.
I can tell you that Kinko's was available. Kinko's, they were around.
They're popping.
Kinko's was like a scene, man, back then. It was that's what you had to do to go get things like that, like pictures of the Pope. You had to go to Kinko's.
That's what I mean. I want the video footage of her at Kinko's 20 minutes before SNL.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
going to be late.
I just I just couldn't imagine how she got the pictures. That makes a lot more sense.
Got a little performance to get to. Can you get this moving along, please? Yeah, but it just, again, and someone put it up on, I think Chef Sean checked in. Chris Cornell also covered Nothing Compares to You.
Yes,
Did
that's
an
right.
incredible goose-bumping experience of that song.
So if you don't know a lot about Sinead O'Connor, and she was somebody who I knew the name for years, but I didn't really get familiar with her music until last year, where one afternoon I was like, I wonder what her other songs are like before Nothing Compares to You. On Q101.com right now, I put up a link of some of her most iconic live performances. You can see him perform live on David Letterman, the SNL performance we just talked about, and then the performance that really struck me yesterday was a few weeks after SNL, where she's already the most hated woman in America, would you say?
Pretty much. That's the vibe was. Yeah.
So
She so did not deserve that. I hate that so much.
no, not
Yeah.
at all. But she had already been invited to perform at Bob Dylan's birthday party at Madison Square Garden. And so she gets on stage in New York in front of 20,000 people. She's booed like a villain that's never been booed before. Does the same Bob Marley cover and then runs off stage crying, oddly enough, into the arms of Chris Christopherson. He was like the only person there that was nice to her, which is just a weird melting of worlds.
Again, he had a big beard, a very comforting guy,
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
think. I think it would be very comforting. Big
But
cowboy guy.
It shows the guts and the courage and the charisma of her in a way that's really unique. So if you've never seen that before or you want to watch it again, that's up at Q101.com right now.
It would just be like in today's comparison, like the biggest artist out there. That's how you got to relate it. And doing something that was detrimental and not just going along with it. Did something to destroy her career. And she said this, I remember a great quote. She was like, the record people were saying, you just destroyed your career. You've ruined your career. She goes, no, I ruined your career on getting boats and houses off of my back. I'm going to perform the rest of my life what I want to do. I won't make as much money, but I'll be a performer. And I just ruined you guys making all the money off my records. And that was a pretty bold statement.
I did love that. Way
Yeah.
to go.
She was a badass. She was
was.
so badass. And it just made me sad yesterday that this is how her life ended. And we don't know exactly how, but a lot of mental health struggles and addiction problems and a lot of loss in her life.
Well, a lot of trauma. I mean, just
Trauma.
last year she lost her son,
Yep.
who was so young, 17, I think.
17.
Oh, my
Yep.
God.
Yeah, she was never, I mean, again, I even can't claim to follow her life so clearly in just the last, couple years, but wow. And I just remember hearing that song the first time. We're going to play in a sec here. And I was certainly not in that world of music. I was a rocker.
This came out in 1990. You're listening to Pantera at the time.
Probably listening to Pantera. And I remember hearing the song on the radio, and it started, and I'm like, what's this crap? It took a second. It took about 5-10 seconds, but I couldn't turn it off. And by the end, as little rocker kid, I'm not crying, but I felt something. The song made me feel, which was not me even up until a few years ago.
He was like, what is this crap? Hot take, Brian was booing at Madison Square Garden
I
with
was
20,000 people.
I wasn't
You
one of the ones.
jerk.
I was not booing. Just not my vibe.
He
until
was picketing. What is wrong with you? She was a nice lady.
That's right. She was. And in case you never heard the song before, and maybe hopefully this moves you this morning, and maybe you've heard it, it moves you in a way when you think of somebody. Let's play the song right now for you. It is Sinead O'Connor, who passed away sadly yesterday at the age of 56. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Q101. Sinead O'Connor tragically passing away yesterday at the age of 56. I'm really glad we talked about it early and about a lot of people texting in about how they're learning things that they didn't know. Never heard that song before. Someone said it sounds like Adele. Some wild things on that. And it was just a tragic ending to a rough situation where she fought people, society and things that were going wrong and just got treated like crap and then didn't waver. She stayed with her beliefs all the way through, never caved in.
And honestly, you rarely see that now. A lot of people, first off, people get canceled more often now because socials exist and phones exist and everything.
Yeah.
So, and typically every single person's like, it came out wrong. I didn't mean it. Like, that was the wrong platform. So to see her be like, I know that these things are happening though, so I don't care, and I'm gonna take the fall.
Big.
Yeah.
She lost millions and millions and millions of dollars off of what she was when that happened. And you're so right on that because everybody gets canceled and then they have to make a big apology today. I didn't mean it that way. They meant it, but they have to apologize anyway.
Let's clarify, there's some people who should apologize. Yeah. Not everything's everything's the best stance in the world. But,
yeah. But for this to get canceled, really, literally what she got canceled before it was a thing, she did. And there you go. No easy way to transition out of that, but just give some thought to it and maybe dive into some music. Case made a great blog at Q101.com. Check out more about it if you want to. We have Nate Bargatze tickets, so we want to laugh a little bit and get goofy again. Chicago Theater. This is Kenzie's favorite comic. He's adding more and more shows. We'll have tickets to that coming up in just about 3 minutes. Stay right here, the first of a blitz of tickets for you of great shows, music and comedy, all day long today. And here's Gil Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. J-Lo celebrated her 54th birthday in white lingerie. Mick Jagger did something similar for his 80th birthday yesterday, but it was a white drool bib. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani may split. She calls it the saddest day of her life. He calls it the inspiration for his next hit song. UPS reached a settlement with drivers to avoid a strike. Employees reacted to the good news with a celebratory shorts tightening. Water temperatures off the Florida coast hit over 100 degrees. Right now, the whole state smells like redneck gumbo. And today is National Chili Dog Day. Those who observe get to celebrate Collapsed Colon Day tomorrow. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.